What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we're hopping into Venom War issue number 2. There was an issue that dropped last week that was Venom War Symbiotes. But after reading the comic, the context of it just didn't make sense until this issue came out. So later this week, we will cover the Symbiotes. And it all leads back to Meridius. Meridius wants to make his play for the King in Black. He wants to take this Eddie Brock off the board. Every Eddie Brock but him. To achieve this goal, what he really has to do is transform the planet. Make it his garden once again. Meanwhile, in the wrestling arena, we have Eddie Brock versus Dylan Brock. But they were interrupted with Spider-Man and Venom. The two of them bonded together. Things are about to get wild. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so our story starts us off at Alchemax HQ. The board is currently having a meeting. Liz Allen, CEO, is head of it. But they have just had an unexpected guest, Meridius. He is coming in with what he calls K-44, the K chemical. This is to be the ultimate weapon against symbiotes. As he goes on to explain that Lee Price got too close to the symbiote Scourge. He paid with his life. But after which, his corpse met with another alien, known as the Captive, a natural symbiote predator. It reactivated the symbiote traces in his system and made them controllable. Those traces now belong to him, infusing it into Chemical K. He calls this the Symbiote. But Liz Allen really isn't falling for this. She's familiar with insanity. At the end of the day, what Meridius did is mix dead symbiote goo reanimated by a literal space vampire with toxic waste. In her mind, this is the symbiote techs all over again. But when a guard rushes in, letting Meridius know that the symbiotes are out, they've broken loose, and the infection is spreading. This is when Meridius breaks the vial. He pours it into the mouth of Carlton. This was all his plan, to let the horde loose, to transform every single one of the board members. He goes to take absolute control. Once one person is infected, they become a symbiote zombie. More or less, they're a rampant, mindless zombie. And every time that they attack, if they draw blood, they transform the person. The symbiote spreads. This is where Liz Allen becomes Misery. Liz Allen has had a symbiote for quite a while. A mix of anti-venom and a mix of carnage. But she has kept this hidden away from the public, away from everybody. So much so that not even Meridius knew that this was here. Unfortunate for Liz Allen, he's already got a K-chemical pistol. The perfect anti-symbiote weapon. With this stopping Misery dead in her tracks. Meridius knocks her out of the window. She goes falling all the way down to the ground and crashes on top of a car. This is when they have an unexpected arrival. We have the arrival of Cletus Cassidy. Now, he immediately tells Meridius that Misery definitely survived that, though he would go on to doubt this. But then he questions, who are you? Who are you and why are you not zombioted? And yes, that's what it says. I am quoting the comic, zombioted. But it doesn't take him long to recognize exactly who this is. Time runs, the clock will strike, and the devil will come. Meridius immediately lets him know that if you've come here to bargain, I don't need any help, but you're more than welcome to stay and watch the show. This is what picks us up in the wrestling arena. Spider-Man has made his arrival, and he's calling a timeout. Peter really just lays it down for everybody and says that somebody had to put on Venom. It was either that or Venom dies. figuring that Dylan and Eddie might need some help after him and Venom went through everything that is going on in Venom War Spider-Man. He's come to an understanding with Venom, and from that place of understanding, right now, Eddie Brock isn't looking like a safe pair of hands. But he's also not sure that he's good for Dylan either. Venom didn't think so, and from what he hears, the feeling is mutual. So the way Spider-Man sees it, to keep it out of both of their hands, he's gonna hold on to Venom until they figure this out. A neutral third party, and he does admit that he kinda likes the chains. But after this speech, Eddie Brock, he's not having it, telling Spider-Man that you're right, that if we're gonna stick to the costume names, if you want to take on the name Venom, that's fine. He will be Bedlam. This is where we see Bedlam swallow up Eddie Brock, and Eddie Brock takes control, the two of them as one. And Venom isn't the only one with chains. Now, Venom has fought Bedlam before, a corrupted, maddened version of Eddie, at his most violent. Now, the human Eddie, he is wearing him like a suit. This makes them twice as dangerous. But Venom knows Eddie, even like this. He knows him well enough to predict his moves. Combined with Peter's reflexes, it's almost like poetry in motion. Every movement feels so easy, so right. He tries to tell himself that he's not enjoying fighting Eddie, but he does question maybe he is. With things not going in Eddie's favor, this is where he decides to eat the others, devouring the other two Eddies. This makes him bigger. This makes him stronger. At this point, Spider-Man's not even sure if he can come close to winning this fight, though this isn't stopping him from attacking. Venom isn't sure if they are losing control here, if his or Peter's angry is pushing them too far. On the sidelines, Dylan, Flexo, and all the others, they're watching, and they're asking, what do we do? Do we stand by? Do we help Spider-Man? Sleeper and everyone else letting him know that you are our leader, that whatever you say, we're gonna do. This is when he tells Sleeper and Flexo to form up on him. And as Spider-Man and Bedlam battle, we have Dylan Brock entering the arena. He tells both of them that they need to stand down, or they're gonna be taking it up with the Prince in Black. As we pick back up at Alchemax, we have Meridius observing the city. The Symbiote horde is making its way, rampaging, taking over anybody or anything that it can kill along its way. An unstoppable wave of symbiosis. That is how Meridius wants everything. That is how he gets everything. That's how he gets Venom. That's how he gets his garden. And all without leaving the comfort of his chair. But Meridius still questions, what does Carnage want? Why come to him now? What is he seeking? And Carnage lets us know he wants what any good Satan figure would want, taking his true form. Carnage is here to make a deal. He wants the soul of Eddie Brock gift wrapped. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Another banger of an issue. We have Spider-Man that has bonded to Venom. All of this taking place in the other comic that came out today, that took place just a little bit prior to him arriving at the arena. But now that we have this comic out, the Symbiote one, it's gonna make a lot more sense, and I'm glad I waited to cover it. Meridius has let loose a Symbiote straight up horde on the entire city, mindless and rampaging, killing and taking over everything in its path. And so while Eddie, Dylan, and Spider-Man are all arguing over who's gonna get Venom, Meridius is making his play. Not only that, but he's got a literal devil on his shoulder. God-tier Carnage is by his side. Inevitably, he's gonna try to kill Meridius. Meridius is an Eddie Brock, and he has every intention of killing every Eddie Brock. Though Eddie Brock Prime, that's his target. That is his goal. So it's gonna be interesting to see all of this play out. You gotta remember, Meridius has been planning and making his play for a long time, throwing him back in time millions of years. Meridius has been building for all of this for longer than anybody has been alive. Since before humanity even existed, Meridius has been planning, but it might just be his hubris that is his downfall. He already knows that Carnage has killed him once. It is very likely he knows he's gonna try again. But in the arena, things are heating up as we see Dylan Brock, Flexo, and Sleeper all combining into one. They're freaking creating symbiote titans out here. It's an interesting concept. We'll see how it goes. It could get very ridiculous very quickly, but it's an interesting concept. You know, if Meridius can make his garden, essentially the entire world taken over by symbiote, it makes sense that you could do something of this nature. But you don't want to overuse it. You don't want to overplay it. For the time being, it's definitely a lot of fun. I am excited to see where it goes, and I'm really excited for Dylan to finally expose to the world that he is Codex, the one true threat to his father's reign. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on with the Venom War, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.